By Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Monday, October 28, 2024. Still no word on who will replace Dr. Nigel Clark as Finance Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration is dedicated to building a caring economy. BITU to meet with the Caribbean Airlines management today over issues concerning members of its Jamaica-based cabin crew. PICA processes 2 groups of Cuban nationals who entered the country illegally over the weekend. In international news, Japan Prime Minister vows to continue ruling despite bruising loss. In sports, cricket, West Indies awards year-long contracts to 14 female players. And in business, McDonald's to resume sale of quarter pounders after testing finds no E. coli in beef samples. The details after the break.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, while we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Yeah, girl.
Yo, Martina. Beg your money, no? Jano Star, the thing dismal. It's sticky out in the streets, you know.
Hey, money. But I take that from you right now. But, Rashi, you know, I have a way we can make some money quick. Like 100 grand, my girl.
100 grand? Quick and fast? Yo! But hold on there. That not sound straight.
What do you mean by that not sound straight? A straight business me say. And you know that too. And I work from home, my girl. All you need is a phone. I'm send you the lead them. You just have to call me. Easy one to that.
Well, the maths they don't seem so hard at all. I really want to. Alright, me go check my brother and show him the pre. Me call you back later.
Make sure you call me back, you know.
Yeah, girl.
Alright, later.
Yo, sis, what go on?
Good son. Martina show me a pre for make some quick money, you know. All we have to do, I just dial. She will send the leads.
Dial? Sis, you know no sense. Martina Chopper, I sink she go sink you. We not do the right thing. You should report her. No have no conversation with no chopper. Just do the right thing.
She am a friend. Oh, you have to say that. Oh, me for do her that. She check for me.
So if she your friend, a prison what that you know, and you can end up dead and get mixed up with the wrong people them. You need to take care of yourself and do the right thing.
Real talk. Me never did a meds it so, you know. All me I think about is how to make some quick money. Thanks for the guidance. May I do the right thing and load that out.
I bet you look a real work and do the right thing.
A true man. They could do the right thing and live good.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, while we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and I.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Who will be the country's next finance minister? That's the burning question, with just 2 days to go before Dr. Nigel Clark steps down to assume his new role as at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Dr. Clark was appointed Deputy Managing Director of the IMF in August. Dr. Clark's appointment to the IMF becomes effective on Thursday, October 31. Yet the country remains in the dark about who will replace him in the critical finance portfolio. Robian Williams reports.
The public and political commentators are eager for an answer to the question of who will be Jamaica's next finance minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has yet to announce who will be Dr. Nigel Clark's successor. Financial accountant and commentator Dennis Chung believes the Prime Minister should select someone with credibility and public confidence to be the country's next finance minister. Mr. Chung suggests that Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew, Favour Williams, would be a strong candidate.
We're at a critical stage now of building back the economy. And what is most important right now, I think, particularly at this time, is someone that the people will say yes. Not just institutions, but the people also will say, yes, this is someone I have confidence in. And I think that he'll take that approach also because next year's election. I think that the most qualified person to do it out of those persons who are elected is maybe Favour Williams. And she was a junior minister before. The face that's there must be one that exudes confidence for the people. That is the most important thing. Because we need to have someone who is going to, when you get there, business people and people who are in the economy say, you know what, I feel safe about the economy.
Mr. Chung says it's also possible that Prime Minister Holness may assume the finance portfolio himself. However, he cautioned that Prime Minister Holness, who is already the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, may have too many responsibilities.
It's quite likely also that the Prime Minister could, for example, take the portfolio for himself temporarily and put somebody there. The Prime Minister, I think, would do a good job. His plate is full, right? So if he takes it, it will really be from the point of view of, okay, I'm going to hold it and put someone else in, right? So that can happen. But if you're looking at someone outside of the PM who is going to just hold it and let someone operate it, then I think the most qualified person right there is Favour.
But public commentator Jermaine Barrett believes that it would be a strategic move for the Prime Minister to take over the finance ministry, as this could help sustain the country's economic growth trajectory.
So he can appoint, one or two state ministers who would really do the groundwork in terms of establishing what needs to be coming out of the finance ministry. Of course, in consultation with him, as necessarily has to happen, the fact that he's the prime minister. But here he would be closer associated with the state minister and the bureaucracy of the ministry. As much as the prime minister has suffered some hemorrhaging of late, he remains still quite a popular prime minister relative to other cabinet ministers. And so I think that the fact that the success of his administration hinged largely on economic management, prudent economic management. I think he needs to maintain that confidence in the minds of the Jamaican people and then use the finance ministry as a leverage toward, propelling him toward the next term.
As the country awaits the decision, all eyes are on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to see who will be chosen to lead Jamaica's financial sector through this pivotal transition. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration is intensifying efforts to build an economy which will deliver more for the Jamaican people. Holness was addressing a JLP meeting in Annan Town in Dwight Sibley's North Clarendon constituency on Sunday night. He charged JLP representatives to work harder to demonstrate a greater duty of care to the people they represent.
We have put in place excellent economic policies, and we are now taking those economic policies and using the dividends from those policies to care for the people. So we're building not just caring representation, but we are also building a caring economy, a caring economy. That is what we are doing. We have to change our politics to a politics of upliftment, a politics that truly shows that the Jamaica Labour Party believes in caring for the people it represents.
Prime Minister Holness says his administration is particular about delivering for all Jamaicans, including senior citizens.
Sometimes they don't get to come to these meetings, so their views are never heard. But somebody must care for them. And that care has to start from the councillor and the MP looking out for them. And it also has to start from the government doing what it can to ensure that the pensioners get a little more. That is why we will increase the income tax threshold as it relates to the pension benefits. That's why we bring in a thing now called the social pension that gives a certain amount of money every fortnight, I believe it is.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister and the Jamaica Labour Party leader delivered a word of caution to his political rivals. Holness vowed to continue approaching the political arena with what he described as a clear heart.
I know that as leader of the country, as leader of the political party, many men wish death upon me. Where I am telling you that I have been through the fire many times, and I still have the milk of human kindness. I still see my enemies, and I smile with them, and I greet them with a good hug. But I know you are an enemy, and I will never turn my back.
Prime Minister Holness says he's not fazed by political attacks which have been sent his way over many years, including recent weeks. Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister and GLP leader, was addressing the Northern Clarendon Constituency Conference on Sunday.
As your leader, I am always ready. As your leader, I can absorb, like Muhammad Ali, all the punches. Sometimes I don't throw the punch, Sometimes I just rope a dope. I just bounce with it. But don't worry, the knockout punches are going to come. Because we have worked too hard to build this country, to make the fake people come and take what we have built. We will work hard, we will show care, and we will get the people of Jamaica to support us and continue the good work of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. President General of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, BITU, Senator Kevin Gale, says the union will be meeting with the management of Caribbean Airlines today to discuss issues concerning members of its Jamaica-based cabin crew members. The crew members are demanding equitable wages and improved working conditions. Senator Gale says there's been a prolonged delay in reaching a fair settlement despite the involvement of the Ministry of Labour.
After over a year of negotiations, the critical issue remains unresolved, leaving our members increasingly anxious, disappointed, and on edge. Despite 3 meetings convened by the Ministry of Labour when a dispute arose, progress has been stalled with another follow-up scheduled for Monday. Key points of contention include the urgent need for equitable wages. The current wage levels in Jamaica are significantly lower than those for similar positions based in Trinidad, be it the cabin crew, including pursers. And despite the identical responsibilities for passenger service and safety, our members call for wage parity to address this glaring disparity.
Senator Gale says the airline's proposal to implement new pay rates from January 2024 instead of the retroactive date of January 2023 is unacceptable. He's calling on the airline's management to return to the negotiation table with a fair settlement for the affected crew members.
While the union proposed January 1, 2023 being the start of the collective bargaining period and as the effective date for any new rates, the company has insisted on starting from January 1, 2024. This retroactive date adjustment is unacceptable to our members who feels this delay undermines their contributions and the value they bring to their roles. As we approach the next meeting, we are imploring the management of the airline to reconsider its position and come come forward with proposals that respects the rights and dignity of our Jamaican-based cabin crew. The BITO remains committed to advocating for fair treatment, wage equity, and improved working conditions.
Senator Kevin Gale, President General of the BITU. Two separate groups of Cuban nationals who entered the country illegally by boats over the weekend are being processed by the St. James Police and the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA. Reports are that a group of 7 Cubans were apprehended by the police on the Unity Hall main road in the parish on Saturday. They reportedly arrived in 3 small vessels at about 6:30 p.m. This incident was followed by the arrival of 3 more Cubans on the property of a popular hotel in Rosal, St. James on Sunday at around 10:43 a.m. All 10 Cuban nationals are in custody at the Montego Bay police station. The Cubans reportedly fled their country amidst worsening conditions. Cuba has been struggling with a nationwide blackout that left around 10 million people without power following the collapse of the island's largest power plant. The situation was further aggravated by the impact of Hurricane Oscar, which struck the island last Sunday, leaving at least 6 dead and causing widespread damage. Now, as the healthcare sector faces a public scrutiny following last week's revelation that there are malfunctioning air conditioning units at the operating theatre at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is declaring that more needs to be done to hold persons to account so that they are better stewards of public resources. The minister was addressing the official opening of the newly renovated and expanded Catherine Hall Health Centre in St. James, valued at more than $57 million on Friday, October 25. Dr. Tufton made the declaration as it has been revealed that an AC unit purchased for the Savlamar Public General Hospital in Westmoreland a year ago is facing similar problems like the one at the Bustamante Hospital for Children.
I can't go to my cabinet and my Prime Minister and my Minister of Finance or my Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs and complain as I would 8 years ago that we need more money. But I'm saying we have enough where certain things should not be allowed to happen. If we are going to demand more, we have to show a good stewardship for what we have. And all of us have to feel like we're vested in that. It's as simple as that. It's a very simple message. If I give a man a contract to put in an air conditioning unit, I should not be waiting 1 year after the system installed for it to give me maximum or optimal efficiency, as is the case right now at Savlamar Hospital.
According to Dr. Tufton, there needs to be a shift in how resources are managed in the public health sector so that the public can get value for money.
When I bawl out on these issues, it's partly because I'm frustrated, but partly because I think I have an obligation and I'm feeling let down by a process that is supposed to deliver more for the people, and the delivery is not commensurate with the expenditure that is taking place. It requires a reset.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages. 100% chicken, straight Jamaican I eat.
The time by Best Dressed Chicken Vienna Sausages is
6:17.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Join us as we explore the power of nuclear applications for sustainable development at the Scientific Research Council's 31st Science and Technology Conference in cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, October 29 to November 1 at the Jamaica Conference Center. Discover groundbreaking research in nuclear science and its application in medicine, agriculture, environment protection, amongst others. 6.5 CME hours available. Register now at www.srcconference.com. Contact the Scientific Research Council at 876-927-1771 for more information.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, Cuba is featured in a new air services agreement with the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore. Singapore says the agreement will allow the two countries to operate air services without restrictions on capacity, frequency, or routing. Singapore and Cuba established diplomatic relations in 1997. The Southeast Asian country has also expanded the scope of its agreements with the Dominican Republic, Kazakhstan, Seychelles, and Switzerland. The Civil Aviation Authority says that those agreements have been updated to remove what it describes as outdated regulations. It says airlines will be allowed to engage in intermodal code-sharing arrangements with surface transport providers. International now, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has vowed to continue ruling the country despite a bruising loss suffered by his party at the general election. The country now faces an uncertain political future as the coalition led by the long-ruling Liberal Democratic Party LDP has lost its majority in parliament, its worst result in over a decade. It is the first time the LDP has lost its parliamentary majority since 2009. The party has ruled Japan almost continuously since 1955. Ishiba was sworn in as Prime Minister just this month after winning the leadership of his party. He had called a snap election to seal his mandate. But in a speech on Monday, he admitted the LDP received severe judgment from voters and added his party would humbly accept this. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. The T-Tag system reduces the amount of cash handled at our toll plazas and makes it safer for our staff and motorists at the toll booths. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. The discount on T-Tag packages has been extended. Get yours for only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until October 31st.
Life gets busy, from work to play, but don't forget your health checks.
The NHF card now offers discounts on PSA tests and pap smears to help check for prostate and cervical cancer. Women 21 and over get a subsidy for pap smears every 3 years.
And men 40 and over receive an annual subsidy for PSA tests. Get your NHF card today.
The NHF is here for health. The NHF is here for you.
Time now for your morning sports. Cricket West Indies CWI has marked a groundbreaking milestone in West Indies cricket by awarding year-long contracts to 14 female players across the region. This first-time initiative is a significant step forward in CWI's strategic commitment to elite and high-performance cricket and signals a continued investment in the growth of the women's game in the Caribbean. This expansion brings the total of contracted regional players to 104 for the year and 164 in total, including senior and academy players. Now, 6 games will be contested at 3 venues in today's round of matches in the ISA Schoolboys Under-16 and Under-19 basketball competition. At Cornwall College Court, Mushet take on the hosts at 2:30 p.m. in Under-16 action. In the Under-19s, Christiana plays St. James. Meanwhile, hosts Belair face Old Harbour in both the Under-16 and Under-19. At Garvey Maceo, Glenmere face Dinthill in the junior category before Garvey Maceo and Denby clash in the senior division. The divisional winners for Standard Production, Production Optics, and Open dominated the recently held Jamaica Rifle Association's JRA Jamaica Cup IPSC Level 3 at the JRA's head office and shooting range on Mountain View Avenue. The Jamaica Cup IPSC Level 3 shoot is a qualifier for the World Cup, which will be held in South Africa in 2025. That fact ensured that it was very competitive on the day. The standard division went to Darian Richards, while female shooter Yoni Campbell bagged the production division. Ryan Bramwell made a switch to the production optics division on the day, but was still able to win it, while Ulrich Palmer was comfortable at the top of the open division. Richards was pleased with his results after putting in extra work preparing for the shoot.
It was very awesome. The stages were very challenging. I personally had some issues, but I was determined and I did my best and I pulled through, and I'm thank God that I won my division.
Darren Richards. Campbell had a heavy workload as, in addition to competing in the production division, she is the pistol captain at the JRA and was the match director for the shoot.
It was very pressuring. I had to organize the match itself. Of course, it's a team of us, so it's not me alone. So the team of us worked very hard to put on the production today, and I'm glad that it came across very well.
Yoni Campbell wrapping up your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, McDonald's is resuming sales of its quarter-pounder burgers in all of its U.S. restaurants after ruling out its beef patties as the source of an E. coli outbreak that left at least one person dead and dozens of others ill. The BBC is reporting that the fast food giant said samples of its beef patties that were taken by the Colorado Department of Agriculture, CDA, had tested negative for the bacteria. The company added that the CDA had no plans for further testing. McDonald's suspended sales of Quarter Pounder last week in around a fifth of its U.S. restaurants in response to the outbreak. McDonald's North America Chief Supply Chain Officer Cesar Pina said in a statement that the issue appears to be contained to a particular ingredient and geography. Pina said they remain very confident that any contaminated product related to this outbreak has been removed from their supply chain. The BBC is reporting that one of the world's biggest web publishing platforms used by a large chunk of the internet is locked in a spat with it, which is affecting thousands of businesses worldwide. While most of the work World Press does is not seen by internet users, it says its behind-the-scenes web-building tools power 40% of the world's websites. That means its disagreement with a company called WP Engine is causing disruption to the huge number of businesses that rely on the two organizations to keep their websites running. Trisha Fox, who runs an agency that manages about 70 websites and is caught up in the row, told the BBC that she can't run a business on this level of uncertainty. According to Daniel Card, fellow of of BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT, the very wide use of WordPress makes it crucial to the internet. But he says that also means its actions definitely have a big ripple effect online, a ripple effect firms like Trisha Fox's are starting to really feel. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading today, selling for an average $159 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican dollar will open trading this morning, selling for an average $115.18 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading today, selling for an average $205.69 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:29.
I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my 1JN Passport app. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The temperature by the 1JN Passport app is
28 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston. Out west in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius.
halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine. Halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine.
You alright?
Yeah, just trying to map out all the National Bakery wholesale locations. So anywhere me there in Kingston, we can pull up on a National Wholesale and get me bread and snacks cheaper than anywhere else.
But Bird Boss, you forget one. The newest one at that, with whole heap of parking. 3 miles, 207 Hagley Park Road.
Wow, another one?
National Wholesales, where every deal's a steal. It's always national.
This October, Imperial Optical is celebrating their seniors. As a token of respect, Imperial Optical offers 20% off all frames for senior citizens all month long. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and save with advanced lenses for crystal clear vision, expert optometrists who care, and quality frames to fit your style. Visit them today and enjoy this exclusive offer.
I can see clearly
When Sagicor Bank thinks of a woman, here's what we see. We see business leaders managing sole trader businesses to large corporations. We see university graduates as our women uplift themselves academically. We see more home owners, ambitious women working hard to build their own legacy. We see leadership at home, with women proudly providing for and taking care of their families. We see entrepreneurs, Jamaican women playing a leading role in our economic growth. At Sagicor Bank, we see the invaluable contribution of women in the home, communities, businesses, and development of our country. That's why we're in their corner, supporting Jamaica's women as they strive to achieve their dreams.
Deposit we have insurance. It's an account that come with assurance. Let me teach you why it's important to have deposit insurance. Just in case your bank crash dead, no need to put your hands by your head. Up to 1.2 million you get for all accounts that's affected. Yeah, one room you can start it, or throw a house party. Pay your mortgage with ease. JDIC is a smart win. Deposit we bring safety. JDIC them protect me. Bank and billing society protected. The flow you must get with. Protect your savings smart. We urging you to call me. Guarantee you need us. We take banking serious.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, against the white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean, gangster white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Woo. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You are tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this beautiful Monday morning in Kingston City. It is Monday, October 28, 2024. Very, very happy to have all of you this morning. Those of you joining us on the YouTube platform or peeps out there in Radio Land, hey to you. If you're joining us from the website or the app this morning, hello to you as well. Happy to have you today. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I'm back on a special day. I was told in studio. I'm Sondre Roden, and it's happy to see all of you here live and direct. I'm so excited. It's Monday and I'm not doom and gloom. And there's a reason for that. Tawna, I got up a little bit earlier than usual. Mm-hmm. And that says, top of the morning. I see you, Juliet Sanchez. I'll say no more until the time is right.
I'll just say the stars have aligned. The stars have aligned, Sondre. But Sondre is sitting in for George. George will be back on Thursday. I see Charmaine Walker asking, where is George? George will be back on Thursday. He has something to attend to, so he's doing just that. But on my mind this morning, Sondre, listeners, YouTubers, Sondre was scrolling on Instagram on the weekend, and saw a video from a Caribbean content creator who travels throughout the region doing trivia with random people. And in the video I saw, he was in Jamaica and on the streets, and he asked a Jamaican man how he'd pronounce S-U-S. And the man said, "Soz." So the content creator says, "Okay," and gently corrects the man by saying "sauce." He then says, so if S-U-S is sauce and H-I is pronounced hi, you put those two together, what is S-U-S-H-I? What do you think the man said?
Sauce high.
Yeah, he said sauce high. Of course, the answer was not sauce high. The answer is sushi. S-U-S-H-I, sushi, the Japanese dish. But in watching that video, it literally shifted my thoughts back to the problem of literacy in Jamaica. About 2 weeks ago, Cliff spoke to the principal of Denhamtown High School, Sondre, and she shared that her grade 7 cohort are not functional. That was her word. She noted that they weren't even ready for the primary school curriculum.
Wow.
And when asked where she intended to start the teaching and learning process, her reply was, at the basics. You'll recall last year, May as well, many of us were flabbergasted when we learned that 70% of the grade 7 cohort at Holy Trinity High School were reading at or below the grade 4 level. The leadership of the school indicated that much of the school was operating like a quasi-primary system. Holy Trinity and Denhamtown are not the only schools experiencing the effects of a seemingly conveyor belt system in the Jamaican education sector. Too many of our students are being moved along the belt without having mastered the basics. And despite the resources being invested to scale up literacy and numeracy, the system is broken. It has to be broken when you have students entering secondary education and they can barely read or do basic math. And the question is, how were they allowed to pass through so many grades, diagnostic tests, and exams and placed into secondary education, knowing fully well they're struggling to read, for example, A Cow Called Boy? I'm not sure if you read that at the grade 7 level in high school, right? Or write a paragraph with proper grammar. High school is not meant to teach students how to read. I'll repeat. High school is not meant to teach students how to read. I think the education model that Jamaica has should be reviewed to include holding back students who aren't sufficiently literate or haven't mastered a grade. It's important to get students ready for the next grade instead of sending them forward only to fail down the road. I believe this has to start from the early childhood institutions, or ECIs. And this is why we need all our ECIs to be certified, properly regulated, and staffed with people who are following a curriculum that gives our children a strong basic start to their education. It's also at that level that the whole back model should be operationalized so that the reading and the writing challenges can be properly diagnosed and addressed, including diagnosing and treating with children who have certain challenges, for example, dyslexia. I don't believe that the whole back model should be discretionary. I think it should be policy. A policy that is clearly written out to parents, because the system in its current state is burdened with high school teachers in some schools like Denhamtown and Holy Trinity having to almost start from scratch, teaching students certain basics that they should have mastered from either basic or primary school. Whatever is in place now to fill the gaps or catch the slow learner is not doing a good enough job when you have 70% or an entire cohort of grade 7 students having trouble reading. In schools like these, the curriculum is set back because, Sondre, time that should be spent advancing regular teaching is spent helping students to meet benchmarks they should have mastered before they got to high school. How are you going to go ahead teaching English literature with Shakespeare or integrated science or information technology when they can't really read? And if they can't read, then comprehension is definitely a problem. You have a challenge with that as well, the children understanding what you're teaching. I heard the Denham Town leadership speaking about diagnostics being done for all the grade 7 students that informed them of what they were up against. But before high school, I understand that diagnostics are done at every grade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Before that as well in the basic level. So there's tons of data there. You know the ability and the shortfalls of each child. And with that, why do I get the impression that we're not being very clinical about this matter of literacy? I think those held back could be pooled across school districts with extensive reading intervention being applied by the specialists. Importantly, too, we need to hold the parents to account. While the formal education system is there to do its job, teaching and learning doesn't take place only in a school. I know some Jamaican parents themselves aren't literate or only access to basic education, but are you encouraging an environment of reading at home? Are you insisting on homework being done? How often do you interact with your child's form teacher, for example? Do you answer the school's calls and come in when the school tell you, say, your child is having challenges? Some parents are the cause of why their children are slow to progress. When we start holding more parents to account through the ministries and its agencies that may assist in improving the outcome for their children. Some of them should be made to attend upon a few of the remedial classes their children are attending. Mm-hmm. Sit there with your child. You'll perhaps learn a thing or two, and you'll see firsthand what is happening with your child in the classroom. I'll say this as I wrap what's on my mind. Reading is fundamental. It is the core upon which all else in education exists. A student, Sandra and listeners, shouldn't get to 11, 12 years old and entering grade 7 in high school, and your foundation is shaky. And that's what's on my mind.
Resolve your conflict peacefully with restorative justice. Call 876-906-4923. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:45.
So where you get? The new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich, my girl. The flavor just hits different.
blackened like it burn up?
Nah, man. Blackened because of the color of the Louisiana herbs and spices. Blackened like the flavor buck. No breading and the seasoning soaked deep in the chicken. But get yours and try it, cause me nah share yours. Get the new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Thinking of going overseas to study but have more questions than answers? Attend CupFest 2024, the ultimate education fair at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel on October 29 and 30. Meet with schools from across the world. Explore McGill University, Seneca Polytechnic, University of South Florida, and many others. Receive professional guidance to unlock your next educational move. On-spot applications available. Join them at the Jamaica Pegasus on October 29 to 30 from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Admission is free.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? Geoland Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration land surveys also included, affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. Geoland Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Alrighty, when you hear those horns honking, you know what time it is. And of course, we want to hear what's happening out there on our streets. And we have Ludlow McLean with Street Smart. Ludlow, good morning.
Andre, good morning, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good to hear your voice, Ludlow.
Same in. And Tona, morning, how you do?
Hey, it's you, Ludlow. Doing good.
All right, sir. Well, this morning, out of St. Catherine, there's the Damhead, Angels Estate, the Walks Road area in Spanish Town, coming towards the bypass. The flow is steady. However, if you're on St. John's Road, coming from places like Dovecot and all those areas, Montgomery Heights, all these areas coming onto the St. John's Road, you're going to find it busy as you make your way towards the vicinity of the roundabout to get towards the bypass. And similarly on the Old Harbor Road, quite busy making it up there. That is the bypass, Spanish Town bypass. The Mandela flowing steadily, but you'll notice vehicles coming out of the east-west, the north-south highway, Edward-Seaga Highway, heading eastbound to the Mandela. And Mandela Highway has been busy all morning, but it's moving only when you get to the 6 miles, heading towards Boulevard and heading towards the Spanish Town area, southbound, along Spanish Town Road. It's quite busy. And remember, some work needs to be done on Chesterfield Drive, that main road that takes you back to Marcus Garvey Drive. I should also commend the work that is done in New Kingston, Halburn Road, and all these roads at Dominica Drive, and the main one, Knotswood Boulevard. So keep it up, the relevant authorities, but some much more work needs to be done in the New Kingston area, especially Dumfries Road. But so far, though, I would say it's not a bad Monday morning, but I'm sure because it's a mountain, the traffic flow will be much heavier as the morning progresses. But so far, quite active as they make your way to your various destinations. It's over to you, Sandre.
All right. Thank you so much, Ludlow. And that was Street Smart with Ludlow McLean.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Our word of the day is spelled D-I-S-A-B-U-S-E, spelled D-I-S-A-B-U-S-E.
Disabuse. Disabuse. Disabuse.
Disabuse is your word of the day. It's a verb, an action word, disabuse, and it means to free a person from deception or error. To free a person from deception or error, disabuse is the word of the day. And dictionary.com is telling us that the word was first recorded between 1605 and 1615. Between 1605 and 1615. And to use it in a sentence or sentences provided by dictionary.com this morning. The first, I had to disabuse my friend of the idea that traveling alone is always dangerous, sharing my own positive experiences. And another for you, the coach disabused the team of the notion that success comes without hard work and dedication. Disabuse is your word of the day, spelled D-I-S-A-B-U-S-E. That's your word of the day. I was looking as well, Sandre, not sure if you were paying attention to the YouTube chat too.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of reactions to the What's on My Mind on this matter of literacy. And concerned parent, I like that name in the context of what we're talking about for What's on My Mind. Concerned parent says, the patterns are clearly stated about investing in the sector, but everything falls on deaf ears when it comes to improving the education system. Yeah, I'm saying we have a lot of data. Diagnostics, I was asking around, and I'm hearing that diagnostics are done at every grade level. You test them in grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I can't remember all my diagnostics, but I remember doing two, three. Yeah, I did a diagnostic in grade 1,
Mhm.
2. I don't quite remember 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? So you have all of that data to inform you about the shortfalls of some students and where you need to go. Yeah. Why apply a conveyor belt system where you're just moving them along when they haven't satisfactorily passed or met certain benchmarks to move them along? Yeah. It hurts me to find where you're in a high school system, Sandri, at grade 7, when you should be advancing now with curriculum across so many subject areas. Information technology, English, mathematics, literature, the sciences, all the other subject areas that you do at grade 7. But the teachers, the leadership, the administration of a school is burdened now on putting on pause the curriculum and having to focus now on going back to the basics, treating grade 7, high school level, as basically primary school.
Yeah, and I think that
When do they have time to move along with the curriculum?
there has to be a joint approach between parents and teachers. It sounds, I guess, rudimentary because we've been saying that for years, right? But we have something like, I think we have a national parenting council. I don't remember what the name of the body is, and we have net and all these systems set up in the education infrastructure. And over the years, we have changed ministers quite a lot, especially in recent time. But I don't know if it's policy that is needed in particular, maybe in some instances. But then, what are the grassroots resources? Because I remember a couple of years ago, I heard a story, an inspiring story of a past student of Holy Trinity, and the mindset was that, they looked. They had to be above the fray. It wasn't that, I was in the system and the system was good to me. No, the problem then is, okay, does the government at a policy level give these schools more support? Do we have these remedial classes at that level from primary coming up? Do we don't want to separate kids because the idea is a brighter child can pull another child along. That's the idea. But then at what point do you decide there are 5 students or 10 students or even 20 students in some cases that need additional support? Are we going to... I know there's a proposal, I think, by the opposition spokesperson on longer times in school and that type of thing. But we have to look at something for this, Tana. We have to look at something. Maybe that holdback policy would be a solution.
Yeah.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
On Living Well today, the effects of smoking on the body. Before you light up the next cigarette, take a deep breath if you can and listen to this. Lung cancer is the most common form of cancer caused by smoking. More than 80% of cases of lung cancer are due to smoking. Smoking cigarettes causes many changes in your lungs and airways. Some changes are sudden, last a short time, and then go away. Colds and pneumonia are examples of this. Other changes happen slowly and last a long time, often for the rest of your life. These are chronic changes. Emphysema is an example of a chronic change. Cigarette smoke contains many chemicals that interfere with the body's method of filtering air and cleaning out the lungs. The smoke irritates the lungs and leads to overproduction of mucus. It also paralyzes the cilia, tiny hair-like structures that line the areas and clean out dust and dirt. Paralysis of the cilia means mucus and toxic substances accumulate, resulting in congestion of the lungs. What are added problems? The immune system is the body's way of protecting itself from infection and disease. Smoking compromises the immune system, making smokers more likely to have respiratory infections. Smoking also causes several autoimmune diseases, including Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis. It may also play a role in periodic flare-ups of signs and symptoms of autoimmune diseases. Smoking doubles your risk also of developing rheumatoid arthritis. Smoking has recently been linked to type 2 diabetes, also known as adult onset diabetes. Smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes than non-smokers. Additionally, the more cigarettes an individual smokes, the higher the risk for diabetes. Recent studies show a direct relationship between tobacco use and decreased bone density. Smoking is one of many factors, including weight, alcohol consumption, and activity level, that increased your risk of osteoporosis, a condition in which bones weaken and become more likely to fracture. Significant bone loss has been found in older women and men who smoke. Quitting smoking appears to reduce the risk for low bone density fractures. However, it may take several years to lower a former smoker's risk. In addition, smoking from an early age puts women at even higher risk for osteoporosis. Smoking also lowers the level of hormone estrogen in your body, which can cause you to go through menopause earlier, boosting your risk for osteoporosis. Most importantly, however, smoking causes cancer. Tobacco smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals. About 70 of them are known to cause cancer. Smoking cigarettes is the #1 risk factor for lung cancer. But smoking can affect your entire body and is known to cause cancer in the lungs, trachea, bronchus, esophagus, oral cavity, the lips, nasal cavity, larynx, stomach, bladder, and pancreas, kidney, and more. Do yourself a favor. Put that cigarette down, and you will have a better quality of life and just maybe a longer one. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for Genetically Modified Organisms, or GMO.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
On seeing someone for the first time, we often form an opinion based on how they present themselves. Hi, I'm Tana, and your Lifestyle Pages starts now. Here's a basic to-do list on how to always look polished. Wear clothes that complement your figure, and if you need to, get it tailored. Add accessories that complement your outfit, but don't overdo it. Make sure to keep your handbags shiny clean. Another basic item for your closet is a black belt, and a great jacket is your best friend. Always match your shoes with your bag. And finally, hair should be clean and nicely groomed. I'm Tana, and those were your Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is
7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
28 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, still 26 out west in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Monday, October 28, 2024. There is still no word on who will replace Dr. Nigel Clarke as Finance Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration is dedicated to building a caring economy. BITU to meet with the Caribbean Airlines management today over issues concerning Jamaica-based cabin crew. PICA processes 2 groups of Cuban nationals who entered the country illegally over the weekend. And in international news, Japan Prime Minister vows to continue ruling despite bruising loss. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
With the details, I'm Tawna Thomas. Who will be the country's next finance minister? That's the burning question, with just 2 days to go before Dr. Nigel Clarke steps down to assume his new role at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Dr. Clarke was appointed Deputy Managing Director of the IMF in August. His appointment becomes effective this Thursday, October 31. Yet, the country remains in the dark about who will replace him in the critical finance portfolio. Robian Williams reports.
The public and political commentators are eager for an answer to the question of who will be Jamaica's next finance minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has yet to announce who will be Dr. Nigel Clarke's successor. Financial accountant and commentator Dennis Chung believes the Prime Minister should select someone with credibility and public confidence to be the country's next finance minister. Mr. Chung suggests that Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew, Favour Williams, would be a strong candidate.
We're at a critical stage now of building back the economy. And what is most important right now, I think, particularly at this time, is someone that the people will say yes. Not just institutions, but the people also will say, yes, this is someone I have confidence in. And I think that he'll take that approach also because next year is election. I think that the most qualified person to do it out of those persons who are elected is maybe Favour Williams. And she was a junior minister before. The face that's there must be one that exudes confidence for the people. That is the most important thing. Because we need to have someone who is going to, when you get there, business people and people who are in the economy say, you know what, I feel safe about the economy.
Mr. Chung says it's also possible that Prime Minister Holness may assume the finance portfolio himself. However, he cautioned that Prime Minister Holness, who is already the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, may have too many responsibilities.
It's quite likely also that the Prime Minister could, for example, take the portfolio for himself temporarily and put somebody there. The Prime Minister, I think, would do a good job. His plate is full, right? So if he takes it, it will really be from the point of view of, okay, I'm going to hold it and put someone else in, right? So that can happen. But if you're looking at someone outside of the PM who is going to just hold it and let someone operate it, then I think the most qualified person right there is Favour.
But public commentator Jermaine Barrett believes that it would be a strategic move for the Prime Minister to take over the finance ministry, as this could help sustain the country's economic growth trajectory.
So he can appoint, one or two state ministers who would really do the groundwork in terms of establishing what needs to be coming out of the finance ministry. Of course, in consultation with him, as necessarily has to happen, the fact that he's the prime minister. But here he would be closer associated with the state minister and the bureaucracy of the ministry. As much as the prime minister has suffered some hemorrhaging of late, he remains still quite a popular prime minister relative to other cabinet ministers. And so I think that the fact that the success of his administration hinged largely on economic management, prudent economic management. I think he needs to maintain that confidence in the minds of the Jamaican people and then use the finance ministry as a leverage towards, propelling him towards the next term.
As the country awaits the decision, all eyes are on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to see who will be chosen to lead Jamaica's financial sector through this pivotal transition. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration is intensifying efforts to build an economy which will deliver more for the Jamaican people. Holness was addressing a JLP meeting in Annan Town in Dwight Sibley's Northern Clarendon constituency on Sunday night. He charged JLP representatives to work harder to demonstrate a greater duty of care to the people they represent.
We have put in place excellent economic policies. And we are now taking those economic policies and using the dividends from those policies to care for the people. So we're building not just caring representation, but we are also building a caring economy. A caring economy. That is what we are doing. We have to change our politics to a politics of upliftment, a politics that truly shows that the Jamaica Labour Party believes in caring for the people it represents.
Prime Minister Holness says his administration is particular about delivering for all Jamaicans, including senior citizens.
Sometimes they don't get to come to these meetings, so their views are never heard. But somebody must care for them. And that care has to start from the councillor and the MP looking out for them. And it also has to start from the government doing what it can to ensure that the pensioners get a little more. That is why we will increase the income tax threshold as it relates to the pension benefits. That's why we're bringing a thing now called the social pension that gives a certain amount of money every fortnight, I believe it is.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness Meanwhile, the Prime Minister and Jamaica Labour Party leader delivered a word of caution to his political rivals. Holness vowed to continue approaching the political arena with what he described as a clear heart.
I know that as leader of the country, as leader of the political party, many men wish death upon me. Where I am telling you that I have been through the fire many times, and I still have the milk of human kindness. I still see my enemies, and I smile with them, and I greet them with a good hug. But I know you are an enemy, and I will never turn my back.
Prime Minister Holness says he's not fazed by political attacks which have been sent his way over many years, including recent weeks.
As your leader, I am always ready. As your leader, I can absorb, like Muhammad Ali, all the punches. Sometimes I don't throw a punch, you know. Sometimes I just rope a dope. I just bounce with it. But don't worry, the knockout punches are going to come. Because we have worked too hard to build this country, to make the fake people come and take what we have built. We will work hard, we will show care, and we will get the people of Jamaica to support us and continue the good work of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he was addressing a JLP meeting in Annan Town in Northern Clarendon on Sunday night. President General of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, BITU, Senator Cavan Gale, says the union will be meeting with the management of Caribbean Airlines today to discuss issues concerning members of its Jamaica-based cabin crew. The crew members are demanding equitable wages and improved working conditions. Senator Gale says there's been a prolonged delay in reaching a fair settlement, despite the involvement of the Ministry of Labour.
After over a year of negotiations, the critical issue remains unresolved, leaving our members increasingly anxious, disappointed, and on edge. Despite 3 meetings convened by the Ministry of Labour when a dispute arose, progress has been stalled with another follow-up scheduled for Monday. Key points of contention include the urgent need for equitable wages. The current wage levels in Jamaica are significantly lower than those for similar positions based in Trinidad, be it the cabin crew, including pursers. And despite the identical responsibilities for passenger service and safety, our members call for wage parity to address this glaring disparity.
Senator Gale says that the airline's proposal to implement new pay rates from January 2024 instead of the retroactive date of January 2023 is unacceptable. He's calling on the management to return to the negotiation table with a fair settlement.
While the union proposed January 1, 2023 being the start of the collective bargaining period and as the effective date for any new rates, the company has insisted on starting from January 1, 2024. This retroactive date adjustment is unacceptable to our members who feels this delay undermines their contributions and the value they bring to their roles. As we approach the next meeting, we are imploring the management of the airline to reconsider its position and come forward with proposals that respects the rights and dignity of our Jamaican-based cabin crew. The BITU remains committed to advocating for fair treatment, wage equity, and improved working conditions.
Senator Cavan Gale, President General of the BITU. 2 separate groups of Cuban nationals who entered the country illegally by boats over the weekend are being processed by the St. James Police and the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA. Reports are that police apprehended a group of 7 Cubans on the Unity Hall main road in the parish on Saturday. They reportedly arrived in 3 small vessels at about 6:30 p.m. The incident was followed by the arrival of 3 other Cubans on the property of a popular hotel in Rosal, St. James on Sunday at around 10:43 a.m. All 10 Cuban nationals are in custody at the Montego Bay police station. They reportedly fled their country amidst worsening conditions. Cubans have been hit with a nationwide blackout that has left around 10 million people without power for several days, following the collapse of the island's largest power plant. The situation was aggravated by the impact of Hurricane Oscar, which struck the island last Sunday, leaving at least 6 dead and causing widespread damage. As the health sector faces a public scrutiny following last week's revelation that there are malfunctioning air conditioning units in the operating theatre at Bustamante Hospital for Children, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is declaring that more needs to be done to ensure a better stewardship of public resources. Addressing the official opening of the newly renovated and expanded Catherine Hall Health Centre in St. James on Friday, Minister Tufton revealed that an AC unit purchased for the Savlamar Public General Hospital in Westmoreland a year ago is facing similar problems to that at Bustamante.
I can't go to my cabinet and my Prime Minister and my Minister of Finance or my Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs and complain as I would 8 years ago that we need more money. But I'm saying we have enough where certain things should not be allowed to happen. If we are going to demand more, we have to show a good stewardship for what we have. And all of us have to feel like we are vested in that. It's as simple as that. It's a very simple message. If I give a man a contract to put in an air conditioning unit, I should not be waiting 1 year after the system installed for it to give me maximum or optimal efficiency, as is the case right now at Savlamar Hospital.
According to Dr. Tufton, there needs to be an improvement in the management of resources in the public health sector so that the public can get value for money.
When I bawl out on these issues, it's partly because I'm frustrated, but partly because I think I have an obligation and I'm feeling let down by a process that is supposed to deliver more for the people, and the delivery is not commensurate with the expenditure that is taking place. It requires a reset.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. And in international news now, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has vowed to continue ruling the country despite a bruising loss suffered by his party at the general election. The country now faces an uncertain political future as the coalition led by the long-ruling Liberal Democratic Party LDP has lost its majority in parliament, its worst result in over a decade. It is the first time the LDP has lost its parliamentary majority since 2009. The party has ruled Japan almost continuously since 1955. Ishiba was sworn in as Prime Minister just this month after winning the leadership of his party. He had called a snap election to seal his mandate. But in a speech on Monday, he admitted the LDP received severe judgment from voters and added that his party would humbly accept this. And that's it for the news at 7. I'm Tona Thomas.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:15.
We have all been there. You feel the flu coming on and you want to catch it early before you start feeling horribly sick. But between syrups, rubs, drops, pills, and sprays, it's hard to know what to use for which symptom. Don't worry, when it comes to everything cold and flu, choose Pharmacold and Flu. This little tablet relieves nasal congestion, sore throat, pain, and fever. Get on with your day with Pharmacold and Flu. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
This is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Labour rights, we gather in St. Andrew Northwestern Monday, October 28 with MP Dr. Nigel Clark and Eric Conso-Wan at Pembroke Hall Community Centre, 6 p.m. Come here, party leader, Dr. the Honourable Andrew Holness, Dr. Nigel Clark, MPs Carl Samuda, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Floyd Green, Anne-Marie Val, Councillors Dwayne Smith, Andrew Harris, Vernon McLeod and others. Meeting Chairman Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie locks it in. GLP meeting, Pembroke Hall Community Centre, Monday 6 p.m. See you there!
That was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
It's the Answers Big 50% off store-wide sale. Get 50% off from Answers Gifts and Home Center and Answers for Children. Get 50% off in every store from now until Saturday, November 2. Answers Big 50% off store-wide sale.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
That time of the morning when we get our second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Hey to Ludlow.
Morning, Tona.
Morning to
our
ya.
listeners. Motoring public, it's not so easy at this time. It was already building this morning, and the traffic is really bumper to bump in most places. Those of you who are on the western side, heading eastbound, it still remains busy along the boulevard, Spanish Town, Whitney Drive, all the way from Weymouth Drive to get onto Spanish Town Road. If you're trying to go to the Waterhouse area, that's a good option because that road is not too bad. Henley Road, and even Penwood Road. But you remember you have some potholes to contend with along Penwood Road to get onto Bay Farm Road, which is also busy going across. You'll see Walton Park Road also very active as the motorists try to make their way to their various destinations. It's bright and sunny, and the traffic will continue after this report. Remember, it's a mountain, so people are going to do their various activities. So be mindful of that. As usual, at Street Smart, your safety is all concerned. It's over to you, Tona.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That was Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, the front page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
All right, we're back with you, and of course, it's the front page. And our focus this morning is the BITU, that's the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, on equitable wages and improved working conditions for Caribbean Airlines cabin crew. The President General of the BITU, Senator Cavan Gale, says the union will be meeting with the management of Caribbean Airlines today to discuss issues concerning members of its Jamaican-based cabin crew. The crew members are demanding equitable wages and improved working conditions. Senator Gill says there has been a prolonged delay in reaching a fair settlement despite the involvement of the Ministry of Labour.
Senator Gale says that the airline's proposal to implement new pay rates from January 2024 instead of the retroactive date of January 2023 is unacceptable. He's calling on the airline's management to return to the negotiation table with a fair settlement for the affected crew members. And Senator Gale joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Senator.
Senator Gale?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Senator.
I'm hardly hearing.
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Good. Good morning. Good morning to your listeners.
All right. So we start quickly with the question of how long has this process between the crew members and the leadership of Caribbean Airlines been going on?
So we would have started the negotiations in the middle of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have been having a number of meetings going into 2024. But there was a point in time when we believed that we weren't progressing sufficiently enough in these negotiations, and what we would have seen would have been what appears to be a change in the turn of events as we were closer to the negotiations. And so we reported it as a dispute to the Ministry of Labour. What would have caused that? Essentially, there are two critical outstanding points. Part of these negotiations were pursuing the question of parity between our Jamaican-based cabin crew members, those who are domiciled in Jamaica, and as opposed to the value in rates to their Trinidadian counterparts, which appears to be essentially some 60 or 70% in variance. Where we had reached, we were not attaining that level of agreement, and so we reported the matter to the Ministry of Labour.
Mm-hmm.
We have had 3 meetings at the ministry, and this morning is going to be the 4th meeting.
You said that was issue 1. What's the other?
The second issue is in relation to the retroactive date. So the claims submitted were effective January 1, 2023. The management of the airline has indicated to us through its former vice president, who attended a meeting, to indicate that retroactive pay would be only from January 1, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
We were of the view all throughout these deliberations that they would have been honoring that effective date of January 1, 2023. And there was no indication during those times that the retroactive payment will only allude to January 1, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt that has created a highest level of low morale among the team members, because in our engagement and our consultation with our members and reporting the status of these negotiations, we would have indicated to them that as part of the agreement going forward would have been an effective date of January 1, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the reason given on both of these matters, the quality in pay for Jamaicans versus their counterparts in TNT, and on the matter of the retroactive sum and the period covered?
Let me deal with the retroactive first, Anna, because in terms of the retroactivity, they would have indicated that they were having some challenges in paying what would have been the total amount as to the cost of the retroactivity. We would have proposed ways in terms of how they could treat with it, and they have not responded. In terms of the parity, they have only offered us increases in terms of the value, and they have not responded to say to us, we're not paying you the equivalent. In other words, they keep offering us in proposed increases, but they have not indicated formally to us why they can't pay us the same value. And, why we are promoting that level of equity, we believe that, it promotes a fair and just employee work morale. It motivates the employees. And I must say that this kind of discrepancy, it has led to a low morale. There's also that legal and regulatory compliance, because we have a piece of legislation here in Jamaica that promotes equal pay for equal work done. We're talking about cabin crew who, by the very nature of their jobs, when they work together between Trinidad and Jamaican flight attendants on the same flight, they are promoting the same service, ensuring the same level of safety, going to the same destinations, coming from a tropical climate in some instances to a colder climate, and even facing the same level of turbulence. It is essentially doing the same thing. And we strongly believe that whatever jurisdictions you're coming from, whatever country, it's a question of parity in terms of pay. And we know no other airline that treats its employees of this nature, notwithstanding the jurisdictions they are operating from.
So, question, Senator Gale, what would be next in the process? Because I know you've said the matter has been escalated to the ministry.
Sorry, so that again?
Yes, what would be next in the process? Because I know the matter has been escalated to the Ministry of Labor.
So we are at the ministry now. We have a meeting today. Depending on the outcome of that meeting, we're going to be meeting with our members to advise them of the status of the negotiations. If we can have an agreement, that would be a positive. If there's no agreement, then we will determine what the desires of the membership are. But I must tell you, it is our understanding, it has been brought to our attention that even the flight attendants now in Trinidad, they are complaining about their pay scales and their pay base, and they are demanding more. So it is really putting the company in a very precarious position, and we trust that good sense will prevail, because as it is right now, it can lead to reputation and a brand image damage. So we're talking about promoting an ethical and business practice in terms of compensation, and they must realistically look at it. A month ago, you would have had the pilots in Trinidad complaining that their pay should be at least equal to those who are outside of their jurisdiction. So flipping it on the other side, and they would have protested at the Piarco airport in light of that. So it's a really untenable situation, and I'm trusting that good sense will prevail on the part of the business for us to conclude these matters.
And finally, Senator Gale, as we let you go, how many cabin crew members are affected?
In Jamaica, it's a little over almost 100.
And as we have this conversation, I know you mentioned low morale. What's the mood of that over 100 people in relation to these two matters?
Very, very disappointed, demotivated, and there's a low morale. We have heard some people are contemplating whether or not they will continue to operate with the airline. And we're talking about people with almost 15 years of service since they have assumed employability at Caribbean Airlines.
You had also mentioned too that there were complaints about working conditions.
Yes. So they would have had some. One of the challenges that they face, they would have had some new aircrafts, some smaller aircrafts that fly in and around the Caribbean. And it's my understanding that those aircrafts are operating in a less, without air condition. And it would have been challenging for some of the flight attendants. One of the things that you'll find challenging to a flight attendant is where you're in an aircraft with a particular temperature, and then you'd have to exit that aircraft and expose yourself to the risk of another temperature.
Okay. All right. Well, Senator Gale, you said you have a meeting set for today with the Labor Ministry with Caribbean Airlines. We'll perhaps check a little bit later on to hear the outcome of that meeting.
All right. We'll update you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Senator Gill.
Senator Cavan Gale, he is the President General of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union. Going to take a break, and when we come back from the break, we'll be speaking with another president, the president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the JAS, Lenworth Fulton. The word this morning, consumers should be paying higher prices for vegetables during the upcoming Christmas period. We take a break and come back with more.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:32.
So where you get?
The new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich, my girl. The flavor just hits different.
Blackened like it burn up?
Nah, man. Blackened because of the color of the Louisiana herbs and spices. Blackened like the flavor buck. No breading and the seasoning soaked deep in the chicken. But get yours and try it, cause me nah share here. Get the new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich. Limited time only. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Looking to add a touch of elegance to your room? The Lighting World by Fosrich is having a massive lighting blowout sale. Get your wall lamps, chandeliers, ceiling lamps, fans, and more at amazingly low prices. Sale begins Sunday, September 29, with up to 50% off selected items. It's the Fosrich Lighting Blowout Sale, September 29. Shop and save only at Fosrich. Open Sundays.
Attention path beneficiaries of Morant Bay St. Thomas. Exciting news! No more traveling to Yellow. Starting this October, you can now collect your path payments at JN Money Services located at Tower Solutions Limited, 26 Queen Street, Morant Bay. For more information, call PATH 876-922-8007-13 or visit the Ministry's website mlss.gov.jm. PATH, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability and social protection.
This is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Laborites, we gather in St. Andrew Northwestern Monday, October 28 with MP Dr. Nigel Clark and Eric Conso-Wan at Pembroke Hall Community Centre, 6 p.m. Come here, party leader, Dr. the Honourable Andrew Holness, Dr. Nigel Clark, MPs Carl Samuda, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Floyd Green, Anne-Marie Val, Councillors Dwayne Smith, Andrew Harris, Vernon McLeod and others. Meeting Chairman Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie locks it in. GLP meeting, Pembroke Hall Community Centre, Monday, 6 p.m. See you there!
That was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Turning our attention now to the agriculture industry. Consumers should be paying higher prices for vegetables during the upcoming Christmas period. That's the word from the immediate past president. Earlier I said president. The immediate past president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS, Lenworth Fulton. He joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Mr. Fulton, we said that to our listeners, and I'm almost sure a lot of them are now concerned about their pockets coming up this Christmas season, wondering if it's going to be way more exorbitant than what they're used to. What can you tell us?
Well, I think the production of vegetables will be around about the same as we had last year for the Christmas season, but some economic factors have worsened. The interest rate on loans have not come down, despite the fact that the Bank of Jamaica have cut a full percentage point from the lending rate from 7% to 6%. This has not been fed through by the bank to us, the borrowers. One. Number two, we try to keep the inflation rate within the 4 to 6% band. We have unable to do so, and so the inflation rate, according to Statin for food products and non-alcoholic beverages and so on,
Yes.
have been rapidly increasing and pushing the prices of foods and vegetables and so on up. The third factor that wasn't there last year, the dollar was about 154 last year. It is now 159.80. And the input supplies that we as farmers use, they are all manufactured abroad and have to be purchased using the US dollar or other hard currencies. So those three factors will definitely move the prices up. And it is the same for animal protein, chicken and eggs, because the feed costs, we are spending approximately 140 million US dollar per year for feed, for animal feed import. And this 140 million US is going to cost much more Jamaican dollar to buy the foreign exchange at a higher rate, which will push the cost of the feeding up and normally push the price of egg and chicken up. So it's some economic factors and not necessarily the level of production which is coming to play right now.
So would you then say, Mr. Fulton, that there should be more production of vegetable and, more local eggs, more local vegetables? I know we've talked about it a lot, but based on you saying the imports would be major, what about the local produce?
Yes, you're right. But remember, the local produce is impacted by the dollar and the interest rate too. We should have more, and our farmers are doing extremely well now. The prices of the tomatoes and cucumbers that were very high 2 months ago are down to still high, like $100, $140 a pound for to say tomato thereabout, but it's down from the regular $400 that we saw in the marketplace 2 months ago. So they are producing. But we have to be spending more money on the input. And we need really to modernize our agriculture. We shouldn't be short of vegetables. Because other countries are doing vegetables through hydroponics and so on. So we need to improve these types of production to improve on the productivity and yield so that we can suffice our local demand.
What I see from some of our YouTubers, for example, Mr. Fulton, who are regular consumers of vegetables and other produce, and we know of the conversation that vegetable prices do increase during the Christmas period. But is it that there's going to be a significant increase in what consumers will be paying for their vegetables this Christmas? Because they're used to an increase. So they're wondering now, is it going to be a significant increase, way over what they're used to during Christmas?
I would hazard a guess that the increase won't be significant. It would be the normal Christmas extra demand, where each housewife would buy a little more than for Christmas season, and they would have bought for the rest of the year. That would push the prices up a little. But it won't be in the realm that that would make it unaffordable to the average Jamaican.
Yes, because I want to agree with you that demand is going to naturally be higher, but as it relates to price point, what are we looking at? What are the estimates? Because I know, as you said, tomato fell from about $400 to $250 in more recent times. So what are we looking at the possibilities, noting the growing demand?
Well, I am looking on, say, using last year prices. I am looking on anywhere in a 10% increase this year. and you have to shop wisely. There are hidlers who sell at very high prices in some markets and so on. So housewives have to spend the time to, say, go to the Coronation Market. And you don't buy at the first price you see there, you walk, because that's one of the best marketplace we have on the island. That price move minutely based on demand and supply.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the average, and we're looking now at the average Jamaican, you and I, who will have to be careful how we spend our scarce dollar. You will get vegetables at a reasonable price. Where you will have some problems, I think, things like yams. We have not had enough yam, and the hurricane damage a crop like that. That takes roughly a year to mature. So you will have yam prices will continue to be challenging.
Yeah.
And there are things like the cantaloupes, the cucurbits, which include melon, pumpkin, cucumber, cantaloupe. Those prices will still be a little bit high because the amount of rain we still are getting is not something that melon and cantaloupe love. They rot in the field when they take in water. So I do expect those things to be a little bit higher than usual. And secondly, people eat a lot of melon and cantaloupe now because we can't get orange. Orange due to the two diseases that are affecting the citrus, the greening and some other diseases. You find out that citrus continues to be scarce and for a long time to come until we find a way to control those serious diseases. Then the citrus production continue to fall. Luckily, we have had things like pineapple, which will be in good supply, that we can use as substitute.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some disease problem here that makes some of our major fruits like citrus short, and as a result, the substitute that we have to use, it impacted their price too.
Yeah. Mr. Fulton, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us, the immediate past president of the JS.
You're welcome.
Mr. Fulton, they're talking about the availability of pineapples. Now, I went into the supermarket and I was quickly reminded about how Hurricane Beryl affected bananas because there are no bananas. Well, the supermarkets I've been to.
Well, that's why you don't shop in the supermarket store. Now you have to.
Yeah, or Tech-Up hasn't seen any bananas as well, so.
You have to go in the markets where probably Coronation Market.
You'll perhaps find a little.
Yeah, but it's not as much because of the places, the St. Elizabeth, where there were huge banana fields, etc., had most of the impact. So yeah, it's one of those times, and I know they're recovering, but there's that need and there's a gap that's left there for us as it relates to food and food production.
Yeah. Going to take a break. When we come back from the break, turning our attention to the presentation from the Prime Minister and a number of other speakers who were speaking at a GLP meeting in Anantown in Dwight Sibley's Northern Clarendon constituency last night.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:46.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 27 degrees Celsius out in Montego Bay.
Jamaica live good, yeah.
Why there? I can't pick your pick Aki off of my tree. Are you planty?
I know that. Come beat me. Beat me, Cheryl, come beat me.
But she are you sweep up over here when the leaf them nasty up me yard? You know what? I cut this tongue.
Keela, Cheryl, how was that? Wanna stop the quarreling, no man? This no call for in our community. This no sound good, man.
Nobody tell me nothing. You know see how Cheryl tan bad. Me pick two little Aki off her tree off of the limb way hang down over my yard. And here she go talk about. She go cut down tree.
And that me say, so what?
No bother with no quarrel. No fight. Cheryl, no cut down the tree. Uno live good no people. Uno a big man you know. And uno a neighbor. The picnic them a friend too. We have to set the example for the picnic them. Live good. Me a beg uno. Do.
A true ya talking a good son.
Take a little Aki them Keela. Cause for real, the limb really hung over your yard. We are neighbor. Make we start live good.
Aye. I saw it figure man. Live good, me say.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life. While we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Join us as we explore the power of nuclear applications for sustainable development at the Scientific Research Council's 31st Science and Technology Conference in cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, October 29 to November 1 at the Jamaica Conference Center. Discover groundbreaking research in nuclear science and its application in medicine, agriculture, environment protection, amongst others.
6.5 CME hours available.
Register now at www.srcconference.com. Contact the Scientific Research Council at 876-927-1771 for more information.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
All right, we're back with you, and of course, we are focusing now on the statement or speech, as it were, from the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, in Ainon Town in Northern Clarendon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration is intensifying efforts to build an economy which will deliver more for the Jamaican people. Holness was addressing a JLP meeting in Ainon Town in Dwight Sibley's Northern Clarendon constituency on Sunday night. He charged JLP representatives to work harder to demonstrate a greater duty of care to the people they represent.
And sometimes, the demands can be overwhelming for some MPs and representatives. And that can cause them to forget that their job, above everything else, is to give people hope. You may not be able to do it now, but it is your intention. It is your aspiration. It is your wish. We not give a promise, but it is how we make you feel that we understand your demand, we understand your need, and we are going to do our best to try and fulfill it. So what we are saying to our representatives, who we put to serve you, the people, is that we must have an agenda of care. Our representation, the people who are on this platform who put themselves to you to be re-elected, they must understand and have a posture of caring. The Jamaica Labour Party must show the people of Jamaica that we care about you. Every representative must adopt that posture of caring. Polls won't capture that, and the pundits will never know that, because the caring agenda is a personal agenda. It requires each representative to know his voters or her voters. It requires the representatives to be in the community, to touch, feel, and see and experience what the people, all of you here who take bus, car, leave your house, left your picnic at home and come and stand up here to make this audience so that we can have this meeting, so that the Labour Party can be the great party that it is. The party must return care to you.
Prime Minister Holness says his administration is particular about delivering for all Jamaicans, including senior citizens.
I want you to understand that the caring agenda starts with your representative and the workers. It starts with the representative, the workers, and the people in the polling division, in the wider electoral division, and in the wider constituency. And then this feeds up to the government with all the policies that we have put in place. We have put in place excellent economic policies. And we are now taking those economic policies and using the dividends from those policies to care for the people. So we're building not just caring representation, but we are also building a caring economy. A caring economy. That is what we are doing. In that caring economy, we look for caring for the elderly, the retired, and for our shut-ins, who sometimes they don't get to come to these meetings, so their views are never heard. But somebody must care for them. And that care has to start from the councillor and the MP looking out for them. And it also has to start from the government doing what it can to ensure that the pensioners get a little more. That is why we reduce, or rather increase, the income tax threshold as it relates to the pension benefits. That's why we bring in a thing now called the social pension that gives a certain amount of money every fortnight, I believe it is. And it is important that the MPs and councillors take the caring that is happening in the national economy and bring it down to the people in the communities. Because when I hear some people saying, boy, I can't get this and nobody now look out for me, and the response is, boy, we don't have no money. Sometimes it's not true. Sometimes what needs to happen is that our MPs and our councillors and our MP caretakers and our councillor caretakers, they need to find these people and get them registered on the national projects and bring those national benefits, which is a part of the caring economy, back to the people in the community. And it's not just the MPs and the councillors. Let me explain to you a little bit more about the caring economy. You know, in my constituency, a lot of people, they are getting older and they are getting ill. Lifestyle diseases, the diabetes, the hypertension, and a lot of them don't have any children to take care of them. and they are shutting their houses. But you know, without the caring that exists naturally, a lot of them would just die. Nobody would know about them. But it is you, the workers of the party, many of you, who when you cook your Sunday dinner, you remember Miss Matty, who lock up in our house, and you go and give her. But what we need our workers to do now is to organize yourself now and go out there and go call Miss Matty here and the others like Miss Matty. Help with the washing of our clothes and cleaning up of our house. So that is the Jamaica Labour Party workers showing how we care. We have to change our politics to a politics of upliftment. A politics that truly shows that the Jamaica Labour Party believes in caring for the people it represents.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister vowed to continue approaching the political arena with what he described as a clear heart.
So, your party is reorganizing itself. There are those who only understand the noise. There are those who only understand tear-down politics. There are those who only believe that for them to rise, they must tear down someone else. I have never practiced that kind of politics. You never hear me go on a platform and call nobody name and try and embarrass anybody or pull down anybody. God has been good to me. I have tried to live a very clean and upstanding life. I don't believe in reaching the top by climbing on anybody else. And when I was a follower, when I was a mere private in the army, I never undermined anybody. I never try and group up and form cabal against anybody. And I never try and spread rumors and lies on anybody. Because I understand that to lead people and to have the confidence in people, people must trust you to know that you are not going to sink into the depths of nastiness. I know that as leader of the country, as leader of the political party, many men wish death upon me. Where I am telling you that I have been through the fire many times. And I still have the milk of human kindness. I still see my enemies and I smile with them and I greet them with a good hug. But I know you are an enemy and I will never turn my back to you.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking at a GLP meeting in Annan Town in Dwight Sibley's Northern Clarendon constituency on Sunday. Going to take a break for Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Let Scotia Investments guide you towards a winning portfolio that would grow your wealth for generations to come. Call 888-429-5745 to learn more. The Time by Scotia Investments is
8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
29 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
In Across Jamaica this Monday morning, the Melody House Girls' Home in Irwin, St. James, has received a significant boost towards completing its long-anticipated transitional facility. This is thanks to a $1 million donation by the S Hotel Foundation. The contribution, presented last Friday, will help to restart construction on the facility, which commenced in 2019 but halted due to unforeseen circumstances. The project aims to create a safe and supportive space for young women transitioning from state care to independence. General Manager of S Hotel Montego Bay, Anne-Marie Goff-Price, who spoke on behalf of S Hotel Jamaica CEO Christopher Issa, says the hotel is not merely contributing to the construction of a building. Instead, it says it is building hope, resilience, and opportunities for deserving young women. The project has also received a donation of $12,500 from the Jamaica Women of Florida. The foundation has been providing supplies, financial assistance, and mentorship for the home's residents for several years. The St. Catherine North Police have listed several men as persons of interest in the division who should report to the Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch CIB immediately. According to the police, the men can assist them in their investigation as it relates to a number of incidents in the division and its environs. The men are from Quarry Hill, Captureland, and Lakespan. They include men known only as Brandon, Nana, Sizzler from Quarry Hill, OG, Ranger, and Prezi from Captureland, and Sweetie and Kukuru from Lakespan. The Spanish Town Police are asking them, or anyone with information The Spanish Town Police are asking anyone with information that can assist them in locating the men to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2874, 876-984-3165, the Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. And we now bring you the latest from across the Caribbean News Desk, for today, Monday, October 28, 2024.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning, I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
The international observers for last week's elections in Montserrat have praised the conduct of the polls, but they have also identified some areas for attention, including the need for independent media on the island. Election analyst Armin Rabish.
Let me point out three areas where we could see improvements. One is the independence of the Electoral Commission. The second area, we would also the secrecy of the vote. And the third aspect, which I wanted to point out to you, is the independence of the media. To say, look, maybe it's time for Montserrat to move on to have a true public broadcaster and ensure the independence of the journalists and the media.
Montserrat was highly commended for its innovative mobile polling station which serviced voters in a hospital, prison and care homes. Election observer Dr. Stephen Akim, the Deputy Speaker of the Northern Ireland Parliament, wants others to adopt it.
Looking at the mobile election process and taking the mobile ballot box around, that was absolutely outstanding. And it is something I'm going to be taking back to Northern Ireland and talking directly to our Electoral Commission about doing that. I thought that was superb, and everybody involved in that should be very proud.
Meanwhile, new Premier Ruben Meade was sworn in on Friday, the day after he led his United Alliance to victory, winning 5 of the 9 seats at stake. The 70-year-old Meade was hospitalized shortly after the swearing-in ceremony and was kept overnight for observation. His family confirmed that he was released on Saturday and is expected to be at work this morning.
In Belize, a police officer is being investigated as one of the masterminds of a robbery spree in the capital, Belmopan. Police Commissioner Chester Williams.
There is a woman police officer detained and her common law husband. From information we are gathering is that the two of them are the mastermind behind the robberies, and there are some other persons who are players with them who are also detained. A search of the police officer home yesterday led to the discovery of a number of police uniforms from male officers, and she's a woman. Again, interestingly is that many of these robberies that were committed, persons committing them were wearing either police uniform or the BDUs, and we have found clothing matching those at the police officer house.
In Guyana, anti-corruption activist and former House Speaker Ralph Ramakaran is recommending that there be rules governing gifts to government employees. That's in the wake of revelations that an assistant police commissioner had received millions of Guyana dollars in wedding gifts from businessmen.
Recently, the issue of a person receiving a substantial quantity of money in gifts had been featured in the press. And the time has come when such a policy should be either implemented by law or in policy, and they should have a person responsible for the observance of those terms and for investigations and so on.
The authorities in the Bahamas are investigating the crash of a twin-engine plane near the airport on Ragged Island yesterday. Police reports said 2 burned bodies were pulled from the wreckage. Officials say the U.S. Coast Guard and Drug Enforcement Unit, along with the Bahamas Defense Force and police, are involved in the investigations. The crash occurred some distance from the runway on the small Ragged Island, which is located some 170 miles from capital Nassau in the southeastern Bahamas.
Protesters in Martinique are not backing down in their demands for a lower cost of living, and the unrest has spread to the sister French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe. The 2 months of protests over spiraling cost of living has not eased despite the signing of an agreement between government and major retailers earlier this month. The protesters want the prices of 6,000 products on supermarket shelves to be reduced by 20% to be the same as in mainland France. As we hear in this France 24 report, the protesters say they need better terms.
Not enough, say the movement's organisers.
They're giving us crumbs. 6,000 products out of 40,000? Honestly, they're showing us that our voices have no value to them.
Shoppers are also sceptical that the deal will make a dent in their budgets.
We're talking about 20% on certain products, while there are products here that are, I'd say, 10 times more expensive than in mainland France.
Authorities have extended a 2-week-old curfew until Monday. The nearby French island of Guadeloupe, which has seen similar protests, has also been put under curfew following an island-wide blackout as energy workers strike.
Antigua and Barbuda will host the next Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting scheduled for 2026 and will become the smallest country to do so. The decision was made at the just-ended 2024 meeting of Commonwealth Heads held on the Pacific Island nation of Samoa. The Commonwealth Heads of Government Summit brings together the 56 member states every 2 years. In addition to the main summit, there are side events that involve youth, women, business leaders, and civil society.
This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at La Belle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
When Sagicor Bank thinks of a woman, here's what we see. We see business leaders managing sole trader businesses to large corporations. We see university graduates as our women uplift themselves academically. We see more home owners, ambitious women working hard to build their own legacy. We see leadership at home, with women proudly providing for and taking care of their families. We see entrepreneurs Jamaican women playing a leading role in our economic growth. At Sagicor Bank, we see the invaluable contribution of women in the home, communities, businesses, and development of our country. That's why we're in their corner, supporting Jamaica's women as they strive to achieve their dreams.
This is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Labour rights! We gather in St. Andrew Northwestern Monday, October 28 with MP Dr. Nigel Clark and Area Council 1 at Pembroke Hall Community Centre, 6 p.m. Come here, party leader Dr. the Honourable Andrew Holness, Dr. Nigel Clark, MPs Carl Samuda, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Floyd Green, Anne-Marie Val, Councillors Dwayne Smith, Andrew Harris, Vernon McLeod and others. Meeting Chairman Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie locks it in. GLP meeting, Pembroke Hall Community Centre, Monday 6 p.m. See you there!
That was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Corian Solid Surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Corian, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constant Spring Road. Telephone 755-1970 or 924-0437.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton, weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. It's the Area Council 1 meeting at the Pembroke Hall Community Centre. Tune in to Nationwide at 5 from 6 to 9:30 p.m. on Monday, October 28 for the special broadcast. See you in St. Andrew Northwestern as we hear from Party Leader Dr. the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, Dr. the Honourable Nigel Clark, Carl Samuda, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Floyd Green, Anne-Marie Vaz and others. Stay tuned to hear from Meeting Chairman Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie. So don't miss Nationwide at 5 on Monday, October 28 from 6 to 9:30 p.m. It's the Area Council 1 meeting. Catch Nationwide at 5 at the Pembroke Hall Community Centre or tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the West Kingston Constituency Office.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A pure water would drink. The time by pure water is
8:14.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Turning our attention now to the PNP's meeting in Brownstown, St. Anne. The opposition leader and PNP President Mark Golding says Prime Minister Holness is not fit to be the country's next finance minister. Due to his uncertified statutory declarations. Prime Minister Andrew Holness' statutory declaration remains uncertified, with his financial affairs referred to the Financial Investigation Division, FID, and the Tax Administration Jamaica, THA, for further scrutiny by the Integrity Commission. Both agencies fall under the remit of the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Mr. Golding says the Prime Minister cannot lead a ministry that has agencies that are investigating him.
Jamaica has reached a turning point and they want real change. Time come for change. And I know it's going to happen because we see the trend over the last year and a half where more and more people start recognize that our party has their best interests at heart, that our party can lead the country in the right direction, that our party has leaders with integrity, leaders who believe that the resources of the people must be used exclusively and only for the benefit of the people. And that is why our stocks are rising while the other side is going down. And we've heard some of the terrible things going on. A prime minister whose statutory declarations with the Integrity Commission in the country can't be certified, and who is under investigation for corruption, illicit enrichment. The investigation has reached a point where he has not provided all the information the Integrity Commission needs, and they have said they're referring it to the Financial Investigations Division and Tax Administration Jamaica, two agencies that fall under the Ministry of Finance. Today is 3 days before the Minister of Finance is to leave office. He announced it in August. All now, we don't know who is going to be the new Minister of Finance. But it can't be Andrew Holness, because he can't be the minister of a ministry that has agencies that are investigating him. That would be a clear conflict of interest and totally untenable. And we want to hear this long overdue and important information, because obviously finance is a critical ministry. But we have so many other issues that we've heard about. Education, training, youth opportunities, the healthcare system, the way our farmers are suffering, the tourism industry is under stress. This year, many things are going wrong in the country.
And Mr. Golden says the youths are better, or the youths of the country are seeing the PNP as a better alternative to the ruling Jamaica Labour Party government.
But you know, I'm very glad and proud that our party can be putting forward such a fine young woman, female Jamaican in her 20s, to be our representative in this important constituency of Northwest St. Anne. The youth of this country need a new deal. The youth of this country need a government that is focusing on the issues of the youth. We heard the passion with which she delivered her plans and programs. We heard the passion from the General Secretary of the PNP-YO in introducing her YO president, speaking of the issues of young people. And I'm happy to say that what the polls are showing is that the youth of Jamaica are seeing the PNP once again as the party that will have their back and who they want to support. Because they're tired of what is going on. They feel let down. They feel duped because they haven't seen the progress that they thought would have come when they voted the way they voted last time.
The opposition leader and PNP president also renewed his call for Bob Marley and Miss Lou to be made national heroes.
I have said cultural and creative industries are a critical part of our development, and it ties into the youth issue, because enough of the youths are looking for opportunities through entertainment, through sports, and through the culture of the country. And I said in my budget presentation, and I said it again on Heroes Day in my message, that Bob Marley, Robert Nesta Marley, has done sufficient as a champion of the people of the world who need upliftment and liberation, and has put Jamaica on the map as a place from which such a man came, through his music and his message about redemption, about liberation, about equal rights and justice, that he is deserving of being a national hero. And I believe Miss Louise Bennett, who took the Jamaican language and made it known around the world and respected for the beautiful language that it is. And there's more work to be done in that area as well. But an exponent of culture, that she too is worthy of being our second female national hero. That's right. But then I hear the Prime Minister suddenly come this idea that he's going to create a new order called National Icon. Now, first of all, in something like the national awards of the country and the orders that create those awards, that is something that has to be done through due respect and consensus and discussion Because that is not a thing just for one government. That is something that is going to last into the future. So you need to ensure that everybody is on board. There has been no consultation with us about that issue. And secondly, what are you saying to Jamaica, to the entertainment industry, to the cultural and creative industries? That you don't rate them sufficiently, that the great Bob Marley, the best known Jamaican around the world, can be made a national hero? When you talk about liberation and emancipation, yes, our political leaders and our warriors of the past, Nana the Maroons, Paul Bogle, William Gordon, they fought that struggle. But Bob Marley freed the mind, liberate the mind, social and philosophical and identity liberation. These are important things. So I say to the Prime Minister, we must have discussions on these issues. Don't just run off and say you're doing something on a path that we don't have any understanding or consensus on. And let Bob Marley and Miss Lou be national heroes so that the young people and the entertainers and all Jamaicans and people around the world who know that name and respect those names can see that Jamaica is a progressive country and embraces those who have put us at another level.
That was Mark Golden, leader of the opposition. He was speaking at a meeting to present Gabriella Morris as the party's candidate for Northwest St. Anne on Sunday. And of course, we heard him at length speak to the national heroes that he has been batting for, which would have been Louise Bennett Coverley and Bob Marley. So that's the comments from the opposition leader. And earlier, if you weren't with us, we had the comments from the Prime Minister, who was at another conference in Northern Clarendon. That's the constituency for Member of Parliament Dwight Siblis.
Yeah. Gonna take a break. After the break, we take your calls. The number is 630-937-124, 630-937-124, and 618-8255. It's a showdown of the shows. 6 shows, 1 winner. Who will it be? Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Get ready for the ultimate test of knowledge in our thrilling NNN Quiz Competition. Friendships have been transformed into rivalries as our shows compete in the ultimate showdown. With each correct answer, the excitement builds, and with each incorrect one, opportunities are lost. The stakes are high, and the listeners will be on the edge of their seats. The NNN Quiz is back. Tune in between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. during Cliffviews Online from Monday, November 4 to Monday, November 11 for the NNN Quiz Competition. Who will emerge victorious on this edition of the NNN Quiz Competition? Find out only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. The NNN Quiz is brought to you by the Student Center, the Jamaican Association for Debating and Empowerment Jade Limited, Wellington Dental, Mark's Superstore, Max Pharmaceutical, Mats Unlimited, and JTA Credit Union.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliffview talking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Benjamin. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Alrighty, we're back with you. Of course, it's Nationwide this morning, and we have gone through a lot in our show this morning. But the question that is being asked by the opposition leader, and of course those in the business sector as well, is who is the next finance minister? It's a big question, an important question, because we are on the eve, the very last days of the leadership of Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark in the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. So when he did the public sector restructuring, that spanned both his responsibilities as Minister of Finance and the Public Service, and who will take the reins in that ministry. A very important task, seeing that the government of the day, led by the Prime Minister, would have campaigned relentlessly on their economic performance. You know, the debt to GDP ratio going down, the periods of consecutive growth, even though it's not within that 5% that we want to see. But they would have campaigned about unemployment rate being low. It's been economy. If you blink, Tana, if you blink twice and you open your eyes, the Jamaica Labour Party government would be saying economy. And then the argument now is that the economy now feeds into other things like, you know, them giving back through heart, etc. So that's the argument of the government of the day, which means whomever takes on that role as Minister of Finance, we would expect as citizens to have some confidence in whomever that person is, to be able to continue this macroeconomic stability that exists, meaning ensuring that the country, you know, we're paying our debts, yet we are taking care of the societal ills. The recommendations, you know, because they're saying the Minister of Finance has to sit in Parliament, the assumptions and recommendations.
Not just Parliament, but the House of
Representatives. The House of Representatives, yes, thank you for that correction. There must be a member of Parliament. So it narrows down, in my mind, to about 3 people, Tana. It narrows down in my mind to the first big hitter, I would say, would be the current Minister of Education, and that would be Minister Favour Williams. And of course, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but Minister Williams, yeah, we don't think she should be at the Ministry of Finance right now. And, you know, other people say no, because the argument is she was minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Finance. The argument further is she's a chartered financial analyst, trained at Harvard, I think, with her MBA, etc. She is qualified in the area of finance. She was a vice president at a firm in the United States as well prior to coming to Jamaica to serve. So, you know, that's the first one. You know, some people in the chat are saying don't upset them and frustrate people this morning. I'm just listing what we're hearing in the public space, actually. The next one on the agenda is that there's a current Minister of State in the ministry, and that is Minister Xavier Main. Could it be that he would just take on the role, seeing that he would have been there understudying for a little while? That's a consideration as well. And of course, the big question that is being asked is that is it the prime minister? Is the prime minister going to take on that role? Now, it's not
a story that also occupies the front page of the Observer.
Yeah,
is it Andrew? It's the
not
headline.
Uncommon because in the 1980 to 89 period, the prime minister at the time, Edward Seaga, he did his stint to ensure that he got a hold on the economy after what happened in that time period. And of course, we've been talking a lot about that era of late. He took hold of that ministry, and even though trained as a lawyer, a lot of people give him his kudos for the job he did as both prime minister and minister of finance. So, those are the persons that people would have been saying so far based on just what I'm hearing. Tana, I don't have a prediction because I would not know anything about anything. I just tell you what the people are saying about the Minister of Finance. And then the other consideration is that if the Prime Minister were to take it on, he now has the room in the Senate after Minister Samuda, now MP Samuda, would have become Member of Parliament for his seat there in St. Anne. He now has room in the Senate to put somebody in to act as probably a minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Finance, etc. And that could be a consideration as well. So there are many things that could happen, but I anticipate that we'll have to hear today or tomorrow. I guess tomorrow at Nigel's swan song.
I think that thing is today. There's an area council meeting
it's today. Correct. Yes,
right,
yes,
that's
yes,
happening
yes.
today.
Tonight, this evening. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't believe that the Prime Minister would come and announce the Finance Minister while trying to give Dr. Clark his final platform to bid farewell to the Jamaican people. So have that runoff this evening, and then
tomorrow in Parliament.
Exactly. An announcement is made as to who the next finance minister will be. Yeah.
So, well, I don't know, but a lot of people are saying that we should have known for longer. What do you think, Tana? Do you think we should have known for longer?
No, I don't support that, because I think the finance minister had his month where he had so much to get done and so much interaction still to do with the Jamaican people. And he took his month and he did all of that with focus still placed on him as the man in charge at the Ministry of Finance. And you saw and heard of how much the finance minister was able to do in the month. So let him do his month instead of having a distraction. If it is Sandre that you were supposed to have the prime minister announcing somebody else, next thing you know, people are posing questions and seeking and awaiting responses or demanding responses from the announced finance minister, while the current one is still in his position, still doing his job until October 31.
Yes. Sorry, correction there, not lawyer. Edward Seaga was not trained as a lawyer. That's my fault. Actually, he was trained in social sciences.
Yeah.
Pardon there. But he took on the role. But he wasn't trained at length based on his qualifications as a financier.
Yeah.
Right.
We have some callers.
Right, we do. Thanks
Cleveland.
for that correction, Omar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cleveland, good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, Cleveland, good morning.
You know something? Its thing is very low, I couldn't hear what the both of you saying to each other.
Our previous
very
guests were saying that. So we're going to figure that out, Cleveland, to ensure.
But trust me, it's well low.
No, man, you're all right. Some other persons have also mentioned difficulty hearing.
At one point when they're turning over to you, there's something clicking to bring up the thing louder.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks so much for the feedback. We're going to check on that to have it rectified.
Not even hearing what you're saying, really.
Oh, dear. I was saying we're going to check on that to have it rectified. Yes.
For my pick for the finance minister,
yes,
Miss Favor Williams.
Tell us why.
Anybody right now there that I think, to just have the carry on of what Mr. Clark has done.
Oh, so right? that is your why?
Huh?
That is your why?
Yes.
Cleveland?
And I hope the people understand, the people of Jamaica, understand what we're getting into. Because every time we have election, PMP is in, and voting the PMP, we have disaster. Disaster. You have to keep catching up. And disaster. All you hear they're going on there and running up their mouth. I still don't see they're putting anything sensible to us, the people. Just living on corruption and Bob Marley and Miss Luby hero. That's not it. We need to know where the funds going to come from to do all of what you're planning, you're saying you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
I've been hearing that a lot, where there is momentum clearly on the side of the PNP, but at the same time, you have people who are saying they haven't quite gotten something from the PNP to hold on to. Meaning, yes, they have indicated certain things that they would do, but it's not something that people are holding on to say, yes, I have this one in my hand, I like how it sounds, this is something I can go forward with and hold on to. Right, I'm not quite hearing that from Jamaicans.
Quite, you're not hearing nothing. They're just going by the poll, a false poll, and think that is it all. You know? And I don't think Jamaica should get themselves back into that and being fooled. You see? Because it looks to me like they're doing anything to just get power. And that's it. When they get power now, they will deal with it. Which is, it can't be.
But Cleveland, you sound like you're not talking to the issue as it is. You're talking about an opposition party. That's what they're going to be doing. They're in opposition. They're going to be trying to get power. So what you're saying?
The country in that way, in a disaster way. You see, because the people who don't really understand. I still have a lot of people still don't understand the changes that is happening in Jamaica, Because probably if they're not getting the money directly in them hand, they believe they're not happening. You see, and that's the type of message the PMP preaching to them. You see, and there's where I'm afraid that we'll get our country back into more trouble if we're not careful. But at the same time, too, I wanted to ask the leader of the opposition, Mr. Bunting, where they make the money? Where did they make the money? What they get from this whole FinSac problem? People say they are the one who get a lot of money out of from the high interest rate. Is it so? Or it's not so? They must talk about don't go on like they don't hear it saying. They must address it.
I hear you this morning, Cleveland.
See? They must address it.
All right, Cleveland. Simon, good morning to you.
Good morning. Tanya.
Yes? Are you hearing me?
I know you're host. Yes, I'm hearing you.
You have your radio on though, Simon, which is creating a feedback. I don't know if you can turn that off or move away from it. Yeah. Simon, sort out your line and then we'll put you back on. Yeah. Folks, when you call, you have to turn off your radio or move away from the radio. It creates a feedback, and that's an issue for us hearing you and you hearing us. Yeah. I did see a comment earlier where I think it's my friend Ricky JM who wasn't agreeing with me about the Prime Minister not yet announcing a finance minister. But I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, but I want to hear your why, because some people are saying that
I did indicate one. Simon is back. I did indicate that I think it would create some sort of distraction if it is that very early on in the day a finance minister was announced, and then you open up the possibility of people turning their attention to whomever that is, while you still have the person with responsibility for the portfolio doing their job until October 31. But I also believe that whomever it is more than likely got some sort of briefing already, know what they're going in for. Nobody else is really changing up in the Ministry of Finance. The policy directives are clear as day. So knowing at the start of October versus now, I don't think it makes a difference.
I'm minded to agree with you on the point that when the Prime Minister comes out, whichever Prime Minister of the day it is, with a list of cabinet reshuffle, you're not going to know long before the cabinet is just going to be reshuffled.
Yeah.
You just have to accept the minister, and the civil servants would still be there working according to whatever it is they have to, whatever the goals and objectives are. So, as I said, the policy directive would still be the same, but the individual who leads it would change. But a lot of people still think that's consequential and think that, especially because the announcement came not just from Jamaica, but from the IMF as well, that there should have been at some point, probably before now, that we already know who the person
and
is.
And then can you imagine, Sandre, the Prime Minister announces who the finance minister is from early.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody starts picking apart, doing their think pieces, perhaps even us here too, on who this person is, whether they're competent and all of those things from very early on in the day. Yeah. And then it closed Dr. Naja Clark trying to wrap up his time in office and doing what he needs to do. Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference. Yeah. Now, when he departs and the new person is announced, then those things can take into train. Yeah, but before not, I don't think it makes a difference. Simon is back on the line. Good morning, Simon.
Morning, Simon.
Good morning again. 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I would like to raise is that I believe that the Prime Minister has not been treading the ground very well. And I'm saying that because the truth must be told is that when you look at the Minister of Finance in a country, it's one of the most central ministry in the country, and people want to know who are the person that is going to take over. Why? Because of the importance of that ministry. I think the citizens of Jamaica has a right to have an idea who is the person that is going to take over, because it sends different signals for the private sector, the public sector. It sends different signals for even governance right through and through the country. Right? And hence I believe it should be at least given the public a little 70 or whatever it might be. I think this, to hold it down until this time, there seems to be sending a signal like something else is wrong. What is wrong, we don't know. Right? Because we all know that...
Why do you think it's sending a signal is that something is wrong? Or is it that the Prime Minister is waiting for the Finance Minister to wrap up what he needs to do, have his farewell, as it seems is going to happen this evening, and then
him does not stop the Finance Minister from wrapping up at this time. No, you give him remember, I know the announcement made over months ago, right? So therefore, it meant that you made the announcement. You have to begin to look. In fact, we all know that things like this, the Prime Minister would have been aware that this thing is coming, right? So therefore, he would be looking from then. I don't think that should be all that hard. If he doesn't have that capability in as an MP who represent a constituency, he would have been in a position to bring somebody in and get them to at a particular constituency where it would be good enough for him to do so. So there has to be something else wrong. Why they cannot wait, and they have to be wait until the dire moment, the dire point in time to announce somebody to assume. It's a very important ministry.
Yeah, I disagree with you, Simon, because I think that the normal trend that I've seen is that a lot of announcements have been late. Politics in general, people wait until the time that it is expedient to them to announce. So it doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong.
It is affecting him, because my point that is going to sit there. The changes has been plain, because the other polls, even though I don't hear you people discuss this poll, and I know normally when the poll for RGI Communication Group that took place, Sharma Golden leading by far, no, and Sonny PMP leading by far.
Yeah, we're not discussing the poll though.
And I am saying those polls we normally hear nationwide discuss their polling mark was down. And hence, I believe it should be discussed this morning.
Yeah, but we're not discussing the poll.
The public still listen to to different radio station and know that at times they bring it out and it doesn't look good.
Yeah,
That nationwide
so
was
you
thinking
can
about it.
call that radio station, Simon, and discuss the poll. We're not discussing the poll.
No, but without fairness, why I said when Mark Golden was down, then I hear discussion and that same poll brought up on the morning segment at Nationwide here.
But Simon, on your point, Simon, on your point, Noel is Omar is saying that a good transition process would be good practice. But who is to say, right, that there isn't a transition process going on now? That's a question that I'm asking, because I keep saying to you, Simon, that political operatives, whether leadership, MP, whatever it is, minister, they always wait until the time when it's politically expedient to announce what they want to announce. Whether it's candidate, minister, reshuffle, they wait until that time. So I want to hear your second point.
My second point is that I'm saying the government of the day is not doing enough for the ordinary citizen. And it is going to be clear and showing out in the later days of this government. And I believe that when it comes to the citizens on the ground, if they are not feeling that they are getting some of what is being given, they are not going to support a government that is in progress. And the truth must be told, the citizens on the ground are feeling the pinch, they are feeling the pain when they go to the supermarket. You see the faces, you see the pressure in the line, you see people putting down things, carrying back things, and it is affecting. I'm not saying good economic policy is not good, but I remember the former Prime Minister Honorable Portia Simpson Miller said you have to make certain that you fix the budget, but at the same time you have to fix the citizens so that the people can make certain that they get a piece of what is going on. Because without the people, there's no Jamaica.
So what would you call, Simon?
This holding out and waiting to correct things after they have gone through the gate. It's not good.
Yeah, but there's no correlation in what you're saying, Simon. How does announcing the finance minister 2 weeks, 1 month before, fix whether or not the economic programs are affecting every single person on the ground?
If somebody remember, the private sector, the publisher, the business community, and other interests might not see that person. They could very well say to him, and he could have looked back into himself and said so and so and do whatever it might be. The truth must be told is that you want to know that the person that is there is going to be somebody that can manage and can maintain and sustain the growth and the economic policies that can help the country to become better. This is what you want.
Okay, so we have to wrap from you, Simon, but I'll accept now the point that you're making is that you want to know, you're saying the citizens want to know that the transition process is taking place, etc. I'll accept that point, but we have to wrap. So thank you, Simon, and we hear your point.
Make a plan to stay on top of your mortgage. Stick to it. Pay on time. The time by the NHD is
8:49.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A so bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A so bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too.
Mother's Bakery Buns. A so bun for nice. Try them today.
Me grew up and see my granny save her money under her mattress. But at all times something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, I also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone. We learn to live, we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
All right, you know, it's that time. It's probably my favorite time. It is time for our birthday club. I don't know about you, but I get excited when it comes to telling my listeners and, of course, those over in our YouTube chat a very happy birthday. Now, today is one of those days, and we call it International Juliet Sanchez Day here in Studio Tana. You know, she said a couple of weeks ago that she wanted me in particular to announce her birthday, and of course the stars would have aligned and we would have it that I'm here in studio to tell you, Juliet Sanchez, a very happy birthday. I would sing happy birthday to you. Hey, listen, I don't want to get into the singing, but I'm saying happy birthday to you, Juliet Sanchez. Job. You know, I want her to enjoy her day. And, you know, of course, all those in the chat, we want you to send us your birthdays because today's a special day. It's your day. It's October 28th, 2024, and God placed you on the earth today, this day, and you're having another year of life, health, wealth, strength. Juliet, big up yourself and have a wonderful day. Who else do we have?
And just before we move on, Sandre, there was a request from Juliet in the chat, and we have found the song for you, Juliet. So this one is for you.
All right, we have Dr. Eddie Lawson Samage sending happy birthday blessings to my son Rohan Jones from Oxford Roads, 27 years old today, coming from his dad, Rohan Jones. Okay.
To our friends on Facebook, happy birthday to Suzette Francis, Winston Mirage, Yolanda Minot Sutherland. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Nikki Hall, Nicole Brantley, Hilary Shaw King, Desireen Richards, Kennick Brissett, Samantha Amrit, Georgia Webb. Happy birthday. Happy birthday as well to Hilary Shaw, Simone Fairweather,
Shiny
Shiny.
Kiki,
Okay.
Aretha Anderson, Claudine Powell, Lee Burt, Shakespeare, Jason MC. All right, we see them coming in. To Jody and Rowe, Jaquay Miller, Heather Phillips, and last but not least, Tana.
Mark Latibader, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great one as well. Just going on over to the YouTube chat to see if there are any final ones before we wrap the birthday segment.
Yes, I see that Juliet Sanchez is saying that, Tana, I do have a twin brother too, so happy birthday to your twin brother, Juliet Sanchez, wherever he is. If he's in the hearing of my voice, of course, we're wishing him a blessed day, the best day, his birthday. Arlene says happy birthday to Fred, a.k.a. $10 Man from Retreat St. Mary. Taximan, we love you. Enjoy your day. And if you're listening to my voice here in Studio Nationwide this morning, we're wishing you, of course, a very happy birthday.
If it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
Struck me down lightning, thunder in my soul, baby. My heart beats for you only.
I'm seeing a final two here. Juliet Sanchez sending happy birthday greetings to, is your twin brother's name Patrick? Juliet, happy birthday to Patrick from Juliet Sanchez. And Elroy Francis saying, today is my niece's birthday. Carlene Francis, happy birthday to you, Carlene, from your uncle Elroy. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning, NTM, The Big Show. Thanks so much to our technical operator, Damien Cunningham, our super producer, Michelle McCrae-Smith, and our super editor, Kimone Thompson. Gordon Dixon sending happy birthday greetings to Rupert Dixon from Milestone District in Hanover. Happy birthday to you. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tawna Thomas.
I'm Sandra Roden, and of course, my love, grows stronger for you, my NTM fam. Big off.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Always be sunshine, baby, we're blends of imperfection. Oh, oh, oh. Give me your heart and soul. Love me like you've never loved before.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.